Buccaneers face off against the Texans, and the Chargers destroy the Raiders. Let's talk sports. Guys, how y'all doing? NFL Week 2 is officially wrapping up with Monday Night Football. I just got done watching the final game. It was definitely a late Monday Night Football. This is one of the first Monday night double headers.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Sure, there'll be plenty more. You know, they love doing these double headers. They love keeping you up till, like 1 a.m. So, guys, Week 2 has definitely been, I would say there's been some exciting games. There's been some fun action. But Week 2 did not feel the same as Week 1. A lot of defensive battles, and this was no different today, guys. Buccaneers against the Texans, which I watched earlier. This was Baker Mayfield going up against C.J. Stroud. The score today was 20-19. The Buccaneers were barely able to win. And I say barely able to win, but the Buccaneers had the lead throughout the whole entire game till like the fourth quarter. And then C.J. Stroud had a little bit of a breakthrough. And after the breakthrough happened, then, the Buccaneers were able to take back the game. I'll just say this. I do like how the Texans defense played today. I think the defense was really good. The way they got to the line is just absolutely fantastic. And honestly, in my opinion, guys, I really like the aggressiveness. I like how they were trying to sack Baker Mayfield. They were trying to stop the run game. But, I think the Texans have a good pass rush, but they don't have, the best,
Welcome to Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast.
Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from Season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Defense against the run game, because we did see Berkey, Irving just, run through this defensive line, which is a little disappointing. There was some wrap-ups, and I do like how this game started. We started out with the C.J. Stroud touchdown. 8 plays, 64 yards. It was only a 3-minute drive. A 9-yard pass from C.J. Stroud, a 1-yard run from Chubb, negative 2-yard run. But then C.J. Stroud throws this 27-yard pass, and then C.J. Stroud throws a deep right pass and gets a touchdown there. Buccaneers, though, immediately respond with a touchdown of their own. 12 plays, 75 yards, guys. We start off with an incomplete pass, but then we get the run game going. 4 yards here, 8-yard pass, a 12-yard pass, a 6-yard run, 15-yard pass, a 10-yard run, and then Mayfield passes deep right for a touchdown. And then, this is where the game kind of stalls out. The Texans respond with a field goal, but then, I really like how the Bucs responded with a 19-play, 72-yard touchdown drive. We start off with a 6-yard pass from Baker Mayfield, a 2-yard run, a 3-yard pass, a 5-yard run. Get some penalties going, but then we get a 7-yard pass, a 9-yard run, a 4-yard pass, a 5-yard run, 2-yard run comes in. We do get some penalties that come in. 6-yard run, a 4-yard pass, incomplete. Then we get a run, and then Mayfield throws short right for a touchdown. So, all the action today in the Monday Night Football game definitely stalled out at the end, because at the end, fourth quarter, it just stayed at a field goal from the Texans, and it just turned into a defensive battle throughout the whole entire match. We do get a touchdown from C.J. Stroud. He finally locks in, a 1-yard run. Then we get a touchdown for 25 yards from Chubb, which is nice. 2-point conversion does fail. And then, the Bucs are able to get a touchdown, a final touchdown drive, guys. It was 16 plays. It was 80 yards. This is the closing game drive right here. 12-yard pass. get some incomplete passes going in, but then we get a 50.
Another switchback. Wait, this isn't the top. Where's the summit? Why am I doing this?
At REI Co-op, we believe there are places within ourselves
Almost there. You got this.
that we find only outside.
Wow. This is worth it.
We have the gear, inspiration, and advice to help you get there. REI Co-op. Visit rei.com.
15-yard run, explosive-ass run, 8-yard pass, a 22-yard pass, a 5-yard pass, 11-yard pass, then we get another 5-yard pass, and then, Rick Wright's able to go for 2 yards for a touchdown. So, overall, guys, this game was definitely interesting. I think the Bucs could have played a lot better, but Baker Mayfield was still, slinging that rock, etc. So I will say, Baker Mayfield and, the Bucs offense today, they're going to get a 7 out of 10. I think they played just all right. Texans are going to get a 5. I just feel like the Texans should have played a lot better. Again, we run into that issue where C.J. Stroud is just running for his life. That offensive line can't even break through. I mean, Jesus Christ. Defense, though, from the Texans will get like an 8 out of 10. I think they try to keep this game pretty close. Now, let's talk about the final game, which, turned into a close battle at the start, and then, it kind of went a little haymaker wild. Chargers versus the Raiders. This is a classic matchup. Harbaugh against Pete Carroll. This is like a coach rivalry type game, a classic one. This game was pretty boring, I'll be honest with you. Geno Smith couldn't really get anything going. The only drives they could have really got going was some field goal drives, which is kind of disappointing. It was just a field goal frenzy once again. We start off with the Chargers field goal. We end with a Raiders field goal. Chargers finally respond with a touchdown drive, 11 plays, 60 yards. We start out with a 19-yard pass, a 6-yard run, 12-yard run, get some sacks coming in there, and then we get a 10-yard pass from Herbert. I think Herbert played really good today. Then we get a 20-yard run. Herbert scrambles up the middle, which is awesome. Then we get a touchdown. Herbert throws a short right pass to Allen, and then we get a goddamn touchdown. And the disappointing thing, the Raiders do respond with a field goal, which kind of sucks. And by this time, guys, this game is just over. Touchdown again, and all they need is just a field goal to keep this game going from the Chargers. Guys, Geno Smith today didn't play that good. And I also think the coaching from Pete Carroll today, when you just go for field goals, I think this is too much of the old NFL mentality, the mental side of the old school ways. Because, in my opinion, if you've done field goals for the whole entire game, I think you need to go for touchdowns at this point because you're losing. It's like I got onto the Lions last Sunday for just going for field goals, Don't go for the field goal if you're losing. Go for the touchdown because you're losing either way with this field goal. Yeah, you keep it, not at 0, but 3 points is only 3 points, and if they score a touchdown on you, that 3 points means absolutely nothing. So, just disappointed with the coaching today, but honestly, guys, this was an okay match. Chargers, I thought the Chargers were, not playing their best in the beginning.
Optimism isn't sunshine and rainbows. It's fixing things, changing the way we fix things. It's running the world on smarter energy. Because if optimism never stops, then change can't either. GE Vernova, the energy of change.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
But they were able to stall out, get the run game going, finally get some touchdowns going. Herbert was doing this thing as Herbert does, and that leads the Chargers to 2-0. And this is a divisional matchup, too, and the Chiefs are 0-2, which is, crazy to think. But, hey, good job on the Chargers. If we're going to rate today, Chargers, they get like a 6 out of 10 for the offense. I think Herbert could have played a lot better today. And then Raiders are going to get like a 3. Raiders are just the Raiders. Defense, too. Come on, guys. You kept this game. I'll give the defense like a 4 out of 10 for keeping them at 20 points. But that's kind of all you did. You just kept them at 20 points. And then the defense side of the Chargers, I will give a 7. They kept the Raiders from not doing a goddamn thing. Only field goals. If you can only keep, the opposing team just doing field goals the whole game, I mean, that's a win right there. That is definitely a win. So, yeah, guys, how do y'all feel about the Monday night slot of the football games, guys? Let me know. My Pandora people, if you're on Pandora, make sure you follow because we're covering the NFL all year, guys. So let me know how y'all feeling about these games. In my opinion, I think these Monday night games were not the best. The first one was pretty fun to watch. And then this second one was definitely just kind of a slog fest, in my opinion.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
And it wasn't really a close contested matchup. I just felt like these two teams were just kind of struggling in the beginning, and then one team finally pulled out. That's kind of how it felt like with this one. So let me know, guys. And also, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day, guys. And that's going to be all from me, guys. I think this Monday night, football matchup, I honestly think, the Chargers are going to be a really good team this year. I think they could maybe win the AFC. And I know it's kind of crazy to say they do got to go up against the Chiefs, but I think with how vulnerable the Chiefs are right now and how maybe they can continue to go down this stage of just, staying vulnerable, I really think the Chargers can just, overtake these damn Chiefs. So that's going to be definitely something to keep an eye on. But it's only week 2. And week 2 is officially over, guys. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.